So yeah, even though there's a lot of racing that's ended this year, F1 still has 3 races left to go. And there's still 2 championships still up for grabs in the Drivers and the Constructors Championship as the battle goes to the streets of Las Vegas. So yeah, it was a pretty anticlimactic race. It wasn't like last year when Verstappen and Perez were battling Leclerc for the win in Vegas. It's really this race, it was the George Russell show from start to finish. Just Russell dominated despite Carlos Sainz's best efforts throughout this race. But Lewis Hamilton was able to have quite a charge through the field, though. Starting all the way in 10th, but worked his way all the way up through pit strategy and run on pure pace alone, and was able to make it all the way up to 2nd in the race. 5 races, then to make Mercedes 1-2 for the Silver Arrows at Vegas. And of course, Carlos Sainz rounding out the podium for this race in Las Vegas. But of course, the big story of this is the guy that finished all the way in 5th. As Max Verstappen, he ended up finishing 5th, but he finished ahead of Lando Norris. And Lando lost only 1 point to him. But that didn't matter because Lando needed to finish ahead of Verstappen to keep the championship alive entering Qatar, but he could not do that. So if Verstappen's 5th place finish, that would be enough for Verstappen to end the championship battle for a driver's title. And Max Verstappen officially clinches his 4th consecutive F1 World Championship. So Max Verstappen, he becomes a 4-time F1 champion. So Verstappen now joins some of the all-time greats. He's now the 6th driver to win at least 4 championships in F1. You know, on the same level as the likes of Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Even Michael Schumacher, Juan Manuel Fangio, and also a lot of the all-time greats. Verstappen joins that list. And oh no, everyone's going to possibly complain about this because oh no, he locked up the title 2 races early. That will most definitely affect attendance and ratings for Qatar and Abu Dhabi. It will not affect ratings or attendance in the slightest. People are still going to show up and watch the last 2 races. Honestly, whoever pushed that fake narrative in NASCAR, like Logano and all of them, about how, oh, no one wants to see the title locked up 2 races early. Honestly, whoever pushed that narrative are a bunch of fucking morons that are just trying to push an entertainment agenda down everybody's throat. I don't know, is it anticlimactic? Yes, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a season-long points format. Every race, every point matters. And you know what? You could complain about it all you want. Now, here's the facts at the end of the day. Lando Norris, Carl Leclerc, and all of them, they had all season to get as many points as possible and not put themselves in a position where Verstappen could lock it up early. All of them failed to take advantage of it. Plus, Verstappen wasn't even the fastest car the second half of the season. Most of Verstappen's wins came in the first half of the season. The second half of the year, he lost all his fucking speed, mainly because of Adrian Newey leaving Red Bull to go to Aston Martin from here on out. Because McLaren and Ferrari have been the fastest cars throughout the season, outside of Mercedes coming out in there. Like, we actually have parity for once in F1, because with Russell winning, he becomes the 7th driver this year to win at multiple races. And this time, Russell gets to keep the 2nd win this year, because the last time Russell got a 2nd win of the season, he ended up being disqualified for the car being too light, which led to Hamilton getting the 2nd win this year. That was back in Belgium. But yeah, honestly, congrats to Russell Lane, but Verstappen, congrats to him on winning the championship. It's well-deserved. Like, honestly, Verstappen effectively ended the title battle with the win at Brazil a couple weeks ago, which led him into the position to clinch early. Like, honestly, there are a lot of times where, we could go back and say, hey, if McLaren didn't fuck Lando over at Hungary, or if McLaren had a better pitch strategy at Silverstone, or if Ferrari just wasn't Ferrari at Silverstone or Montreal, the championship battle would still be going on, and it would go a lot differently. There's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. We'll never truly know what would have happened if Ferrari didn't go full Ferrari at Silverstone and Montreal. And we won't truly know what would have happened if Lando didn't get fucked over at Hungary just to let Oscar Piastri win a race, or if McLaren didn't go full Ferrari at Silverstone. Truth is, we'll never truly know. What we do know is what did happen. And what happened was Verstappen wins the championship, which honestly well-deserved by Verstappen. He wasn't the fastest driver this year, especially the second half of the year, but he was very consistent. He took advantage of both the McLaren and Ferrari's misfortunes when both of them had their fucking moments and had their moments for all the wrong reasons. You know, and yeah, Red Bull isn't even the best team this year because the Red Bull's currently third in the Constructors' Championship. And plus, you want to know what's going to destroy that narrative about everyone saying, oh, Verstappen walking up the title 2 races early is going to affect TV rating attendance? You know what's going to destroy that narrative effectively? The fact that the Constructors' Championship isn't decided yet, because McLaren's only ahead of Ferrari by like 24 points, because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Ferrari actually leapfrogged Red Bull in the Constructor standings to second. So, yeah, like I said before with Lando's emergence, I said how flat the year. I'd say flat out back in like July, August, September, that Lando's most likely not win the driver's title, but that Constructors' Championship is still up in the air between McLaren and Ferrari. And I think that thing's going all the way down to Abu Dhabi. So yeah, even though the driver's title is officially wrapped up, the Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs with 2 races to go. McLaren or Ferrari, the 2 teams that have effectively fucked up and let Verstappen run away with the title, have a chance to at least win the team championship. But even though Verstappen locked up the title early this year, I mean, hey, locking up 2 races early this year is a lot better than what Verstappen did the last 2 years, though. Can we all fucking mutually agree on that? But let's be honest, though, 2025 next year is going to be wide open, because Verstappen's not that going to dominate like he used to, because McLaren and Red Bull have all merged up, and George Russell's finally having his big boy season. So Mercedes will be in that mix too. Verstappen's going to single-handedly carry Red Bull on his back because Sergio Perez hasn't done his job. You're like, seriously, how the fuck has Perez not gotten fired yet by Red Bull? But then again, if Red Bull fires him, then the question becomes, who do you replace him with? Because is there anybody else that could be good enough to contend with Verstappen? Because that's going to be the bigger question. So it's kind of like one of those deals where Red Bull's screwed if they fire Perez, but they're screwed if they keep him around. Because it doesn't really matter who they have in that second car, because Verstappen's going to fucking whoop their ass on the track, and yeah, he's going to single-handedly carry Red Bull on his back. But yeah, 2025 should be an interesting season, but you know, still, Constructors' Championship up for grabs. Hoping Ferrari can pull it off. Especially since Ferrari has been gaining points on McLaren the last couple races, especially today, with Leclerc finishing 4th and then Lando finishing 8th, 6th, and Piastri finishing 7th. So yeah, even though Verstappen has the title locked up, the Constructors' battle between McLaren and Ferrari still rages on to Qatar next week. And honestly, whoever in F1 decide to start a race 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in Vegas is a fucking asshole. Especially when it's 10 o'clock local time in Vegas. Like, honestly, that's fucking way too late to start a race. They need to start it earlier. Like, dear God. But yeah, anyway, on to Qatar. Congrats to Verstappen.